You won't believe what just happened to JD and Usha Vance's daughter, Mirabel. Her unexpected transformation has everyone buzzing. Was it a heartwarming milestone or a jaw-dropping shock? Did she change her look, make a big life move, or is it something even more dramatic? People can't stop speculating, and the reactions have been wild. Whatever it was, the Vance family's response says a lot. But the big question is, what exactly happened to Mirabel? Stick around to find out all the surprising details. JD and Usha Vance aren't just another political power couple. Their family is one of the most talked about in America. Their story is anything but ordinary, from JD's incredible journey from poverty to the White House to Usha's influential role as second lady. But now it's their youngest daughter, Mirabel, who's stealing the spotlight. Before we dive into the shocking twist that left JD and Usha emotional, let's take a quick look at how they got here. JD Vance didn't grow up with privilege. Raised in a struggling working-class family in Middletown, Ohio, he faced financial hardship, family struggles, and the shadow of addiction. But instead of letting his circumstances define him, he fought his way out. His life changed when he wrote Hillbilly Elegy, a raw and powerful book about his tough childhood and the struggles of white working-class Americans. The book struck a chord nationwide, instantly making him famous. It wasn't just a personal story, it was a wake-up call about poverty in America. People saw him as someone who truly understood hardship, and that reputation followed him into politics. After a successful career in venture capital, JD took the political plunge, running for U.S. Senate in Ohio. With the backing of influential figures like Donald Trump, he won in 2022. But that was just the beginning. When Trump was searching for a running mate in 2024, JD was the perfect choice, young, authentic, and with a compelling personal story. When Trump secured victory, JD stepped into the role of Vice President of the United States. Now, as the second most powerful person in the country, he's juggling the demands of politics with family life. And while his public role is significant, being a father is what truly matters to him. If JD's rise was remarkable, Usha's story is just as fascinating. Born in San Diego to Indian immigrant parents, Usha Chilukuri was a brilliant student from an early age. She met JD at Yale Law School. He was a determined young Marine from a working-class background, while she was a sharp, poised law student on a fast track to success. After Yale, she built an impressive legal career, working at a top law firm and clerking for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts. But it wasn't until JD's political career took off that she found herself in the spotlight. She preferred staying behind the scenes, but her intelligence, grace, and impeccable sense of style quickly made her one of Washington's most admired women. As Second Lady, Usha has become known for her sharp legal mind, her effortless style, and her ability to navigate the intense scrutiny of political life. Whether she's managing the chaos of raising 3 kids or representing the country at high-profile events, she handles it all with ease. But now, it's their daughter Mirabel who has everyone talking. So what exactly happened? Stay tuned, because this is a twist no one saw coming. JD and Usha Vance have 3 kids, 2 sons, Ewan and Vivek, and their youngest, Mirabel. While the Vances have tried to keep their children out of the political spotlight, little Mirabel has been hard to ignore. She first captured everyone's attention at Trump's 2025 inauguration when she was just 3 years old. Wrapped in a red cape with Scooby-Doo bandages on her fingers, she instantly became an internet sensation. As JD took his oath, Mirabel casually sucked her thumb, completely unfazed by the historic moment. The images went viral, and people couldn't get enough of her carefree and adorable presence at such a major political event. Now she's back in the headlines, but for a very different reason. Something has happened, something that reportedly left JD and Usha in tears. But what could have caused such an emotional reaction? What has Mirabel been through that has everyone talking? It's time to uncover the surprising change no one saw coming. The 2025 Inauguration Day was supposed to be all about politics, but when JD Vance was sworn in as vice president, his 3-year-old daughter Mirabel stole the show. Sporting Scooby-Doo bandages, sucking her thumb, and draped in a bright red cape, she quickly became the internet's favorite part of the entire event. Her photos and videos spread like wildfire. Some people called her a tiny fashion icon, while others were simply charmed by how effortlessly adorable she was. Social media couldn't stop talking about her outfit, her relaxed attitude, and the way she clung to her mother during the ceremony. Before long, little Mirabel was trending everywhere. News outlets were just as obsessed. Some reporters described her as the most relatable person at the event, while others loved seeing a child just being herself in the middle of such a serious occasion. But that was only the beginning. A few weeks later, Mirabel's name resurfaced, and this time, it wasn't just about her sweet viral moment. Something had changed. Something big. The public is always curious about the children of politicians, but the fascination with Mirabel goes beyond the usual interest. Maybe it's because she brings a sense of innocence to the high-stakes world of politics, or maybe people just love seeing a kid being a kid in the middle of history. Either way, she's captured attention in a way no one expected. And now, for some unknown reason, she's back in the public eye. But this time, it's different. It's not just about a cute viral clip or a heartwarming moment. People are convinced that something major has happened. Rumors have been swirling non-stop. Some say she looks completely different now. Others believe she hit a huge milestone that took JD and Usha by surprise. But what really got everyone talking was the way her parents reacted. Their response says it all. Something big just happened to Mirabel, and the world is dying to know what it is. Politicians are usually experts at keeping their emotions in check, especially in public. But whatever happened with Mirabel seemed to catch JD and Usha off guard. Some people even claimed JD looked like he had tears in his eyes, while others thought Usha seemed unusually emotional, as if she'd been through something deeply moving or upsetting. Now speculation is running wild. Did Mirabel do something unexpected? Was there a shocking moment no one else noticed? People are desperate to figure out what's going on. With the Vance family staying silent, the internet is filling in the gaps with its own theories. Some are simple, like the idea that Mirabel has simply grown up a little. She's no longer a toddler, so of course she looks different from the little girl who charmed the world at the inauguration. But others are more extreme, suggesting that she changed so much it's almost like she became a different person overnight. A common theory is that Mirabel suddenly seems older. It sounds like no big deal, but for parents, watching their child grow up too fast can be emotional. Maybe JD and Usha had a moment where they realized time was moving quicker than they expected. One day she was their tiny baby-faced little girl, and the next she looked more like a young child, and that hit them harder than they thought it would. Then there's the possibility that she looked noticeably different. A drastic haircut? A bold new outfit? Maybe she walked in with a fresh new look that caught her parents completely off guard. But what if it wasn't just about appearances? Some people wonder if there was a more significant moment behind their reaction. A health scare, perhaps? Maybe Mirabel overcame something difficult, and JD and Usha's emotions were a mix of gratitude and relief. There's no evidence to back this up, but that hasn't stopped the internet from running with the idea. Another theory suggests that Mirabel might have said something so powerful that it left her parents in tears. Kids have a way of surprising adults with their words, sometimes saying something unexpectedly wise or deeply touching. Could she have said something that completely took JD and Usha off guard, leaving them overwhelmed with emotion? The truth is, nobody knows for sure. But one thing is certain. JD and Usha's reaction has only fueled more curiosity. If it was just a small moment, why did it seem to hit them so hard? Is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? The internet is desperate for answers, and the speculation isn't slowing down anytime soon. So what's the real story? Why did the Vance family seem so moved? Let's break it all down. Mirabel Vance has made headlines before, but this time it's different. Whatever JD and Usha experienced wasn't just funny or endearing, it was deeply emotional. The big question is, what exactly happened? Let's explore some of the most likely reasons. Every parent has that moment when they suddenly realize their child isn't so little anymore. That could be what JD and Usha experienced. Mirabel has always been in the background of political events, but maybe something changed this time. Did she confidently wave at the cameras? Say something surprisingly mature? Step forward in a way that showed her personality was growing? Maybe for the first time, JD and Usha saw a glimpse of the young girl Mirabel is becoming. Not just the baby they've always known. And for any parent, that realization can be a lot to take in. And then, of course, there's the possibility of a major change in her appearance. When a child suddenly looks older or different, it can be an emotional shock, especially for parents who aren't ready for their little one to grow up so fast. Did Mirabel debut a bold new haircut? Maybe she got her first real trim, leaving her looking totally different from the little girl at Inauguration Day. Or was it something else? A surprising fashion choice that made her seem years older. Kids love experimenting with clothes, and in a family that's constantly in the public eye, even a small wardrobe change can feel like a big transformation. If Mirabel showed up looking completely different from how JD and Usha are used to seeing her, that alone could have caught them off guard. Of course, it's important not to jump to conclusions. Nobody's making wild claims here, just curiosity. Could something about Mirabel's health have triggered such an emotional response from her parents? Maybe she overcame a small challenge, hit a major developmental milestone, or did something unexpected that filled them with pride. Children grow and change at lightning speed, and sometimes their actions remind parents just how far they've come. Maybe Mirabel said or did something that made JD and Usha realize just how much she's growing up. Their emotions could have been a mix of relief, pride, or even pure joy. Not every big moment is about appearances. What if Mirabel did something so heartwarming it melted her parents' hearts? Maybe she said something unexpectedly wise, acted in a way that felt beyond her years, or simply showed love in a way that caught them off guard. Did she have a moment of kindness or self-awareness that made JD and Usha emotional? Sometimes the smallest moments, like a child's first heartfelt words, a sudden act of affection, or a tiny realization of how quickly time is passing, are the ones that hit parents the hardest. Whatever happened, one thing is clear. It was enough to make JD and Usha react in a way that caught people's attention. The internet has plenty of theories, but the real story might be even more touching than anyone expects. If there's one thing the internet loves, it's a mystery. The moment JD and Usha showed unexpected emotion, social media went into overdrive. Platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit were flooded with theories, some hilarious, some outlandish, and a few that actually made people stop and think. One of the most popular guesses? That Mirabel had some kind of glow-up. Yes, at just 3 years old. Sounds ridiculous, but this is the internet we're talking about. People started posting side-by-side photos, analyzing her latest look compared to previous appearances. Did she suddenly seem older? Was her outfit more sophisticated? Some joked that she already had better fashion sense than most adults. Others speculated that she'd hit a sudden growth spurt, making her look beyond her years. It might sound silly, but in a world obsessed with transformations, even toddlers aren't safe from wild speculation. Then there's another theory that doesn't focus on her looks at all. Instead, some users pointed out how effortlessly she seems to steal the spotlight. One viral post summed it up. Forget JD and Usha. Mirabel is the real star of the Vance family. And honestly, they might not be wrong. She already grabbed headlines on Inauguration Day with her red cape and Scooby-Doo bandages. Now she's back in the public eye once again. Was this just another moment where she unintentionally became the center of attention? Even when she's just being herself, people can't help but be drawn to Mirabel. Whether it's her playful nature, the way she clings to her parents, or simply the fact that she's a young child in a highly public setting, she has a way of capturing attention. She doesn't need to try, she naturally steals the show. Some even joke that she's the secret weapon of the Vance family's public image. Whether intentional or not, one thing is clear. Whenever Mirabel is around, people are watching. If JD and Usha weren't expecting this level of fascination, maybe that's what caught them off guard. Perhaps it's even something they're still figuring out how to handle. Then came the deeper theories. Some believed this wasn't just a sentimental parenting moment. It was symbolic. Could Mirabel represent the next generation of the Vance family stepping into history? JD and Usha are already one of the most watched political couples in the country. Seeing their youngest child unintentionally step into the public eye might have hit them on a different level. Maybe it made them reflect on their family's future in a way they hadn't before. Parents often experience sudden realizations about how fast time is moving. One day their child is a giggling toddler. Next, they're standing in front of thousands, unknowingly becoming a public figure. For JD and Usha, this might have been one of those moments where everything just hit all at once. One Reddit user put it this way: "What if JD and Usha realized their family legacy is already unfolding right in front of them?" It might sound dramatic, but given how emotional they looked, it's not entirely out of the question. It is possible that their reaction can be explained by the fact that Mirabel's participation at such a significant political event was symbolic to them. JD, a man who was raised in a family who come from the working class and who authored Hillbilly Elegy about overcoming adversity, may have experienced a sense of disbelief as he witnessed his daughter in this particular moment. It is possible that it served as a reminder of how far they had come for Usha, a lady who has created her profession through education and effort. There is one thing that is clear, regardless of the actual cause behind JD and Usha's reaction, and that is the fact that the internet is not going to let this moment fade away anytime soon. The speculations continue to pour in, and people are completely captivated by the mystery. The users of social media have investigated every possible angle. Could it have been a simple instance of emotional parenting? Did they suddenly come to the understanding that their public legacy is growing? Another possibility is that it was something entirely different that nobody has even thought about yet. Speculation will continue to run rampant until either JD or Usha decides to voice their opinions on the matter, which is highly unlikely to happen. And if we are being completely honest, this is not the last time that Mirabel will be the center of attention. To the contrary, this particular incident has only served to further solidify her position as a public curiosity. Without even making an effort, she has a way of making headlines, regardless of whether or not she intends to do so. It won't be long before the internet is buzzing about her once more if things continue to go forward at this rate. Was there a straightforward explanation, or is there a more profound mystery? Therefore, what exactly took place? Was it a breakdown in emotional control? A startling bit of information? Or was this just another instance of the internet turning a relatively insignificant moment into a show that was watched by millions? Without a doubt, feelings were running high on the day of the inauguration. The Vance family had a very special day to celebrate. However, did Mirabel actually undergo an unexpected transformation as a result of such an event? Everything that is extreme is not supported by the facts. Give it some thought. When a child of 3 years old is thrust into the eyes of the nation, it is inevitable that powerful reactions will be elicited. It's possible that JD and Usha experienced a moment of profound emotion as they witnessed their daughter go through such a momentous occasion. Perhaps it was simply the tremendous reality of being a parent. One moment they are infants, and the next they are standing in the middle of events that radically alter the course of their lives. Regularly, parents experience feelings of emotion. The first day of school, the first steps, the first words. Any of these milestones has the potential to bring tears to their eyes. The occasion in question might have been one of those moments. What was once a straightforward, lovely, and natural reaction has been transformed into something considerably more significant by the internet. Perhaps Mirabel made a gesture that melted people's hearts as she waved at the throng. She may have surprised her parents by saying something beautiful that took them off guard. On the other hand, it is possible that the internet took a typical family moment and made it into a viral sensation for the sole purpose of perpetuating the phenomenon. Observing their young daughter in the limelight, witnessing her enchanting the world, and coming to terms with the rapidity with which she is maturing, it was most likely just a profoundly emotional and beautiful event. Without making an effort, Mirabel Vance has already demonstrated that she is capable of stealing the spotlight. She has managed to attract the attention of the public in a manner that very few political children ever managed to do, beginning with her moment on Inauguration Day and continuing with the most recent wave of speculation. The most important question, however, is whether or not we will see more of her in public life. A number of families that are associated with the presidency and vice presidency make the decision to keep their children as hidden from the public eye as possible. Others are thrilled by the attention, and they enable their children to participate in activities such as attending events posing for photographs, and even playing minor roles in official responsibilities. What are JD and Usha's current positions? Mirabel is already a well-known name, despite the fact that she is just 3 years old. On the other hand, this does not imply that she will mature in front of the cameras. As a means of protecting her from an excessive amount of exposure to the media, JD and Usha may want to keep her childhood a secret. With all that being said, politics is a demanding world, and growing up in the spotlight can be a difficult experience. With that being said, it is feasible that Mirabel's natural appeal and her ability to attract attention might make it impossible. She could continue to make headlines simply by being herself, even if JD and Usha make an effort to keep things low-key during their relationship. It is possible that she will become one of the most talked-about children in American politics, whether it is through formal appearances, candid family moments, or unexpected viral clips. The situation is not limited to Mirabel alone. Despite the fact that JD and Usha had 2 more children, they have been able to avoid the spotlight for the most part up until this point. Because their father is now the vice president, do you think that will change? There is a possibility that more members of the Vance family will attend events together. Being a parent is never an easy task. There is an entirely distinct obstacle involved in the process of raising them while living under a microscope. Since the beginning, JD and Usha have demonstrated that they are a powerful and close-knit family. But becoming a member of the second family brings with it new challenges. Every action they do will be scrutinized, every parenting choice will be taken into consideration, and the protection of their children's privacy will remain a primary concern at all times. As the second lady, Usha will most likely play a significant role in reconciling her public life with her time spent with her family. She has already demonstrated that she can remain calm and collected under pressure, but how will she handle this new phase of her life? Will she choose to take a break from her public responsibilities in order to concentrate on her children? Or will she continue to make the most of her career while simultaneously bringing them up in the public eye? On the other hand, JD will be extremely busy due to the responsibilities that come with being vice president. On the other hand, will he still find time to be a father while he is in the public eye? With the intention of displaying a more personal aspect, certain leaders incorporate their family into their job. Will JD follow suit, or will he make an effort to maintain the confidentiality of his family life? In the event that there is one thing that we have taken away from this viral moment, it is that the Vance family is able to keep people engaging in conversation. Whether they did so on purpose or not, they have piqued the interest of the entire nation. As JD becomes more comfortable in his position as vice president, it is highly probable that his family will continue to garner media attention. Will there be further instances of Mirabel going viral? Will there be a greater degree of transparency regarding the Vance's family life? Or will they opt for a more private approach? Time is the only thing that can tell. However, there is one thing that can be said with absolute certainty. People will be watching.